Hi, it's a Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to talk about all the things that had been tempting me and I have successfully said no to, and then why I'm glad I didn't make the purchase. So thank you for watching today. Thank you for being subscribed. I guess it's kind of like an anti-haul, if you want to call it that. But I am so easily drawn in, especially during the holiday season, to makeup packaging, and just the unique, only for right now. And I always have that. But if I don't get it, you know, that FOMO. And I don't want to live my best makeup life with FOMO. So here's the list. First thing I'll tell you, I love Natasha Denona's formula. I have a couple of her palettes that I truly enjoy, but she's been cranking out a lot this year. So if we're talking about like the first release of the year, didn't she do like the Love palette near Valentine's Day? And then there was the Bronze palette this summer, and then there was the Glam palette this fall, and then she just came out with these trio chromes. The only one, I still keep telling myself, you don't need it, you don't need it, that still is calling to me is the Glam palette. I liked the Bronze palette, but I feel like I had a lot of those colors, like right here in the Metropolis palette. This was last like holidays, like special situation. I don't want to fall into it. I kind of was looking at the trio chromes and going like, yes. And then I realized, you know what? A lot of those shades, I don't know that I would really wear. And then the reviews, the trio chromes are not really that fantastic. Natasha Denona is a pretty hefty price tag for not being fantastic. So I struggle because I do obviously appreciate the formula. I do have one of her like 5 pans, not the mini, just the regular 5 pans that are like 48 bucks. So good. Even years later after having purchased it, there's just so many really beautiful things that she makes, but I'm trying not to duplicate what I already have with a new palette. And if we're talking Natasha Denona prices, I think right up there is Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath put out some stunningly beautiful holiday things. Now I know a lot of times she'll repackage a, you know, most loved color in holiday packaging. She'll do things like that. I have been lusting after those little quads, those astral quads that have like some of the special shades in them and they're like under $60. I'm like, yes. But I just realized I don't wear things like that as much. And I do have like one of the big palettes that's like over here, and I don't really reach for those special shades because they need a little more work and effort. I either have to wet them or I have to use a glitter glue, or I'll end up with, you know, if I were to use it more, it would make more sense for me. The larger palette she put out for this year that had like a lower price point, was it in the 70s or 80s? And I was like, man, that looks beautiful. But again, a lot of colors in there I probably would not use. I wanted one of those lipsticks that had the little heart on the packaging, and I was like, don't buy it just for the packaging, because I do that a lot. I've tried 3 of her lip products, formulas. I've tried the balms. I've tried I think it's the Trans Luxe, which is the cream formula, and the Trans Matte. And it's not my favorite matte. It's not my favorite cream. The balm's really nice, but part of me just feels terrible spending almost $40 for a balm. So I just haven't continued to purchase Pat McGrath lip products. I just don't feel that they're worth the price. Although the packaging, especially at holiday, to die for. Colourpop. Oh, Colourpop. Since I last talked about Colourpop, I feel like they just keep cranking out more, and this is just the Colourpop way. And the only one that really was like, was the Raw Beauty Christie. And I literally had things in my cart, things that I knew I would use. I knew I wasn't gonna use the eyeshadow palette that much, so I put in like the quads of the Super Shock shadows, because I love Super Shock shadows. I put those in, I put the green eyeliner in. I'm like, you know what? It's a darker hunter green. I think I would really use that. I even put in one of the lip glosses, and by the time I got all the way out to checkout, it was gone. All of it was gone. So I went back and tried to put it in one by one into a cart instead of doing like the packs of stuff. And that was gone. Like, it sold out so quickly. By like 10 minutes after 10 when it released, it was like, it all disappeared into thin air. But I will tell you, I'm really tempted by those Super Shock shadows, but I kind of wanted to get them like in the first wave of shipment so that I could review them for you. But I know I love Super Shock shadows, and I know I love Raw Beauty Christie. Christie's one of my favorite YouTubers. Just her perspective, and I love her so much, and I feel so much of an affinity. We live in different parts of the state, but we both live in the same state. We both have an appreciation for how beautiful it is here. But I'm just, yeah, I love Christy and couldn't be happier for her with her 2 collabs this year and her baby on the way. I was not missing the taupe collection. I was not missing the child collection. I love the Mandalorian, but I just knew I wasn't going to use colors like that. That wasn't going to be for me. The Stone Cold Fox, maybe that would be the palette that would make more sense to get than the Natasha Denona Glam palette. But again, it's so much bigger than it needs to be. And I feel like I like Natasha Denona's formula a little bit better. That's why that one's still kind of running around in my mind. But I saw that giant 30-pan palette and I was like, nope, not for me. I really liked the idea of the Dark Blooms palette because you had a 9-pan palette. You had accompanying blushes. I was like, oh, those look really pretty. And then I'd look at it, you know what? I have all of these shades somewhere. Now, the truth is I probably have every eyeshadow shade I would ever use, plus a lot that I would never use that I don't have anyway. So I really don't need any more, but it takes a lot to kind of get me to that excited point when it comes to Colourpop eyeshadows. I feel like their formula is good. I feel like the price is really good. But for me, it comes down to, do I want to replace what I have with more of the same? Not really. All right, so this literally caught my eye and I was like, no, it's too big. It's the BH Cosmetics Naughty palette. And I heard a lot of people talk about how good it was. And then I recently saw an Emily Noel video where she was talking about how good it was. And I was like, do I need this? And then I looked at it and I was like, no, I don't. And maybe what I need to do is maybe I need to get a completely different BH Cosmetics palette. I feel like the Sweet Shop palettes from this summer would have been the great way to go, getting a couple of different shades, because I heard the quality was so good with those, and I hear the quality is really good with the Naughty and the Nice palette. But both of those also, again, on the larger side. I'm really starting to try so hard to move away from and there's 30 options in here. I really want to be somebody with fewer options. So I saw the Makeup by Mario releases. I really liked his neutral matte palette. That looks really pretty. And I was so intrigued by the palette where you had the metallics that you had to scrape out, mix with a little mixing medium. But the truth is, I don't want to work that hard. I just don't want to work that hard when it comes to makeup. And I feel like I have enough. I have some Viseart neutrals. I have some Natasha Denona neutrals. I have a ton of really beautifully formulated products that definitely fit that. Where if I were to look and try and dupe the neutrals palette from Makeup by Mario, I probably have all of them here. Maybe all in Sydney Grace. I don't really need it, but it did really catch my eye, and for a while I was like, maybe. And no. I've been talking this whole time about how I like smaller palettes, and when I saw that there were 4 new mini palettes from Too Faced for Christmas. Okay, so last year when they came out with the gingerbread extra spicy, and the year before, so 2018 was gingerbread, 2019 was the extra spicy. This year they came out with the gingerbread mini, and I was like, wah, wah, not for me. All right, so I looked at the salted caramel because caramel's my favorite. I love me caramel anything. And it's too warm and it's too orange. And I think they had 2 maybe limited edition that they were selling just on their website. One of them was Kitty Likes to Scratch. And that's the only one that I feel like really would be right up my alley. But all of those, again, I've got those shades probably 10 times over in various places. So that didn't make sense. The last one was Light My Fire, and it's just too red. It's too warm. It's too shades that I don't use. And I already have a red palette from Colourpop. I don't need a red palette from Too Faced. But I do like the smaller size, and I do like that they come in those little tins. I feel like that you get just the right amount. I feel like that's great because you've got 8 shades. I really like the layout. I really like the format. I just didn't really jive with any of the color shades. I do have one. I think I have the one from 2017, the first little mini that they did, and it was, I forget, but I like it and I still use it. Charlotte Tilbury has been cranking out a lot of holiday stuff. There's been like a mini Film Star Bronze and Glow. There's been mini Pillow Talk lip sets. She's done a lot for holiday this year. And I've been wanting to try one of her little cream eyeshadows, and I almost got roped into the rosé or the Pillow Talk Dime. I don't know. It was a sparkly rose colored one. I was like, that's so pretty. You don't need to spend that much. You don't wear that much cream eyeshadow. I also will tell you, I did really like her holiday palette, and I am of the opinion that if you're going to buy Charlotte Tilbury pressed eyeshadows, the holiday palette is the best way to go, because her quads, although they are lovely, and I have 2 of them, is it $53, $54? That's a lot for those 4 little pans. Now again, I do like smaller packaging, and these 4 shades go together. So it's hard because it's everything that I love and I want in the ease of, if you open it up, all of these things go together. But that price, that's hard for me to swallow. So I do think if you're gonna, and I like the quality of Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, I feel like if you're gonna get the most bang for your buck, it makes more sense to get one of the holiday palettes. And I really liked it this year, but I thought, again, dupeable. I have so many shades just like that. I don't need this. One thing that did really call to me with a long, beautiful siren sound was the new highlighter. And it's in kind of silver packaging, but it looks like this. I really like this. This is the new bronzer, well, new-ish. It was new this fall, from Charlotte Tilbury. I really like it. I like that it's refillable. The packaging is luxurious and delicious. And I thought, an accompanying highlight. I'm never going to use a pan of highlight this big. There's no way. I already have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury highlights. I have the Glowgasm palette. I have the Bar of Gold palette that has 3 different shades. I have the regular Bar of Gold. I've got a lot of stuff I don't need. I have the Film Star Bronze and Glow, which has a highlight in there. And I love Charlotte Tilbury powder products, how beautiful they look on the skin, how they lay, and they just look divine. I really think that she does that really well. And it looks good even on my, and I hate this term, more mature skin. I really think that her products are worth the price because they look so gorgeous and skin-like, but I just couldn't bring myself to get the highlighter that looked like this, but only in silver packaging, because I have too many beautiful highlights. I didn't need it. Something that I saw and I was like, and then I was like, no, no. She has a new lip and cheek tint called Tinted Love. And I love the idea of a multi-use product. And there are so many times that I'll take whatever lipstick I'm wearing, tap my fingers into it, and then tap it on my cheeks. If I'm not really wearing makeup that day, I do like color here and color here. It makes me look more alive and less like a zombie mommy. But don't know that I need that. And what was interesting to me is that the only promo pics I saw were of the product on the lips and not the product on the lips and the cheeks. And maybe there are more photos coming, but I just saw it was on Trend Mood and I was like, where is it on the cheeks? It's supposed to be lip and cheek. She also had these really beautiful tinted balms. One of them was clear and it looked like it had sparkles in it, but the sort of look that it left on the lips was very reminiscent of a kind of pH or color changing lip kind of technology that I remember from like Mood lipsticks from when I was a kid. I know that that's exactly what the Frog Prince feels like to me from Lipstick Queen. I know it's a very much loved shade. It doesn't work on me. It looks like fuchsia pink. It's not beautiful. I don't really like that, and I would be worried to spend the $34 price for a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, and for that, instead of being soft and glowy and just a little pink, for it to be like glittery and hot pink on me. I was kind of interested in the one that had kind of more of that like ruby look to it, kind of sheer but ruby, and I was like, no. So there's been a lot of really interesting things for the holidays, and previously, but I'll just tell you, I so have been glad that I got what instantly drew me in, like the lip kit from Sephora, like the Hourglass sculpture, the lipstick, and the mini set. I did pick up stuff this year. It's not that I haven't been spending. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting things that are really going to work for me. I did recently buy 2 quads from Viseart. They have their Pettifor collection out, and those should be here soon. And I'm so excited. So so excited. So I have been buying holiday things, just not like crazy like I have in years past. Let me know if there's stuff that really called your name and you're like, no, I don't need you. I've got something similar, or I wouldn't really use you. I would love to know what those products are in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an amazing day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.